Well, folks, I think I consumed more lead paint in the past few days than I did in my whole childhood chewing on them Voltron toys. And man, I've been breathing so many fumes that I've been having flashbacks of Nam, and that war was over like 10 years before I was born. But speaking of flashbacks, I think I'm having one now. Not the sandpaper. Well, like the lines slightly. Make sure you do it on full blast. Hey everybody, welcome back to Full Blast Garage. On this episode, we're diving straight into a little paint prep on the old Dodge. So stick around while we put sanding on full blast. All right, if you hadn't been keeping up with this series, I recommend going back, start at the beginning when we got this thing for $1,300 delivered to the door. We've patinaed it, and I've laid out how I want the stripes to look. And now I need to at least do a little bit of paint prep down here on what's left of this gray paint that there's barnacles growing on. And I'm pretty sure somebody parked the truck next to a burn pile. Just kind of has that scorched look if you've bought vehicles that used to sit next to burn piles. And I actually have quite a few times. So it's got that look. We want to get rid of it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sand at least our fiberglass here, our patched rockers. I'm going to hit it with 80. Everything else is going 120, 220, 320. That's it. I'm not filling any holes. I mean, there's, spots that go all the way through on this truck. And that's just gonna kind of play to the theme. It's a rusty old pile, but somebody spent some time doing a paint job on it for some reason. But now it's gonna look really cool, and it's gonna have kind of like a, I don't know what they call those trucks, the Dodge ones, like Sport or Machos or something. It's gonna have that look, and especially with the big white roll bar in the back, we're gonna paint it white. And then we'll have 3 stripes. We're going white, gray, maroon. And they'll be pretty proportional. They're going to have varying sizes because there's less distance, say, here to here versus here to here. So a lot of that's just going to be, you're measuring it with the old peepers. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty good at getting stuff like that close, but it's not going to be perfect. And at the end of the day, it's probably going to look fine. But, if you're a real perfectionist and you're going to tackle one of these jobs, just stay away. Don't do it. You're going to sit there for so long with tape in your hands, you could have probably painted the truck twice. But we're going to get a good eyeball on the paint. Get the stripes laid down. We're rattle canning it. Everything's getting rattle canned. The rust, the stripes, everything's coming right out of Rustoleum bottles. So that's kind of the plan. How good can we make it look through rattle cans? But now it's kind of the worst part of the job is the paint prep. But at least got this stripe line laid out. That's probably one of the harder parts, is getting that done, making sure it's straight, everything else. But let's go grab our sander. The best thing to do is just dive on in. It's not going to get done me just sitting here talking and staring at it. But let's go ahead and start looping the time lapse in, because I'm going to be working all the way down the side of this thing. right, so as you can see, after we got the sanding done on the old truck, things escalated a little. I went out, washed it, got everything cleaned up, and I just kind of had a little, I don't know, epiphany. Like, let's do 2 stripes. Let's not do 3. This truck, as I really sanded on it, looked at it close, man, it's got so many waves and dings and dents. The less stripes is probably going to look better. And as far as taping and tape lines, it'll be a whole lot easier to do. So on the truck, I have the white stripe laid out. That's going to be the top stripe. So top stripe's going to flow with the body line. I'm going to do maroon on the bottom. So those lines taped out on each side, and that took me the better part of 3-4 hours. I don't know. It was not super fun because most of it you're doing by hand and just kind of eyeballing. I mean, doing the best you can. You know, the truck's not straight, and that interferes with straight lines, so you'll get a visual where it'll look like the line's slightly wavy, but it's the truck. It's the truck having dings in it, and you're painting over the top of them. Nothing we can really do about that. I'm not doing any kind of body work on this truck. It is what it is. This is it. And this is how it's going to be. So I'm going to finish at least covering the bottom, the top of the truck from overspray. So we'll lay some paper out on everything. So we just really have this white line exposed. And then we're going to start just shaking them cans and spraying. So I got the Rustoleum with the adjustable tip, and you put it on the vertical setting and you just spray it like you're spraying a regular, compressed air painter. And we're going to see what we can do. Light coats, let it dry a little bit, keep going. You hammer it down with this Rustoleum stuff, it'll bubble. It'll look like little volcanoes, like where it pits and kind of looks like a bubble. That's from the solvent not having enough time to flash and you putting a new coat on top of it. Don't ask me why I know that. Been guilty of it a zillion times with this stuff, but light coats, we're going to see if we can do 3, 4, I don't know, but just enough to where we got coverage, uniform coverage. And we'll pick this back up when I'm laying some color down on this thing. Well, I'm all suited up. We got her all taped up, ready to lay down some color. If the tape job around that door looks a little funny, it's because I had to cut my way into it, because that's where all the paint was, inside the truck, after I taped it all up. But whatever. I mean, if something like that doesn't happen to you while you're doing your project, you're probably doing something wrong. But I got the old Sawzall paint shaker. See if I can blast this thing into orbit. It is violent. Like, really violent. Oh, that's probably not good. Is it supposed to shake the like actual like cover off the spray can? I don't know. I mean, it's still locked in there. I don't know. I put that little hose clamp thing on there pretty tight. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the old respirator on, just because if we were outside, I wouldn't do this. The wind is enough to just kind of blow everything away from you. Since we're inside and I'm kind of trapped in this confined space, I'm gonna go ahead and respirator up. But you guys just got to watch. You're looking up here. You know, don't touch your steel right before you paint it either. That's a bad idea. I set the sizing before I put the hood on. All right. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me. But you want to do number 4, vertical. Just like you're painting a car too. Release when you're off the panel. Don't release when you're on it. Trying to look and see how the paint is reacting to the surface. You always want to look at that, make sure you're not getting some kind of weird reaction. And you guys can see that this thing lays it down pretty quick. We're shooting for a very light coat. Yeah, shooting for a very light coat on this. And we kind of want to see what's going on. We definitely have some height differences over here. Hopefully the old Rustoleum will be congruent with whatever house paint that was probably on this truck. Let's swing her around to the back. Oh, that was not horizontal, or not vertical. I was spraying out like crazy. All right, we'll move on back to where we started. Well, we're getting a little more coverage. I'm gonna tackle tailgate again, move to the dark side over there, and then we're gonna have to let this flash for a little while before we put any more paint on. All right, so that's one can down. That essentially took me around the truck twice, light coats. We're gonna let this flash for a little while. As hot as it is today, maybe a half hour, maybe a little less. And I'll probably do two more all the way around, and then take a look at it and just see how much coverage we have. Think we're getting there. I mean, it looks better than the first pass. That was looking a little scary, honestly, but she'll be all right. We'll get her evened out. All right, I've given it about an hour. I don't want to get pain in my teeth. Trying to do a little bit slower shake this time. Maybe I won't send it to orbit. Check the tightness. Now, this thing does a pretty dang good job of shaking paint, I'm not gonna lie. Man, my whole body's vibrating. Good Lord. All right, will it come out? It does. And I'll give myself a little twist and shake action there. Like I'm doing anything more than that Sawzall was doing. So I got my rag, got my paint. We've let this sit for like an hour, and again, that was like some flash time. Let the solvent get out of the paint before you start laying more layers on top. Otherwise, you're gonna get paint issues. You're gonna get like fishy eye looking stuff, like these volcano, like your paint has pores and they're exploding. Let's go ahead, work our way around the truck again, laying down some more white.
Well, I didn't put my HUD on this time, and
Dang it, now it's all loose. Last time I painted, I guess as the El Camino, I did it in flip-flops and tank top, and I had paint all over me for like a month, so
trying to avoid that. Just a little more control, a little bit slower. Trying to get a little bit more coverage. Want to avoid runs. So I think once we hit it around
one more time,
she'll probably be good. All right.
I'm gonna tackle the back real quick and then I'll move you guys around to the dark side of the truck.
All right. We'll walk it around one more time.
One more time with this coat. And we're gonna let it sit for another hour. Take a look at it.
All right. She's done. Woo! It's hot. It's November and it's so hot. Yeah, that's probably good. All right, going around again.
All right, man, I think I got it looking pretty good. But I'm gonna do one more pass all the way around. Just think it might need that one extra coat. I've waited. It's been probably 40 minutes. Think we're fine from the looks of the paint. Think all the solvents flashed off. So we're throw one more on it, and then I'm gonna come back in about an hour, peel everything off. So you don't want your paint to just sit there and dry with the tape right next to it. There's a good chance the paint will want to bond to the tape or want to, just come off when you're peeling the tape. You want nice crisp lines. You want to do it while the paint's not fully cured. So we'll hit it again, give it an hour, and then we'll start peeling. Hopefully we got some sort of straight lines somewhere. We'll see. I think I got enough paint in this can to make it around. So if y'all are keeping count, that'd be 3 full cans to do the stripe all the way around. And then, we're gonna clear over everything on the entire car. But that's gonna be more cans. Definitely more than 3. Oh. And after you've had your can sitting for a while, spritz it a little, just see how it's spraying.
These things have a chance to sit there and clog. All right, we're getting it. Might have to grab another can. There's like a pretty good chance. All right.
I'm gonna go tackle the tailgate. I'll move you guys around.
Spitting a little bit. There ain't a whole lot left. Grab another can.
Okay, it's been an hour. Do we have lines? Or do we just have paint run? The bottom stuff I can just throw away. The top stuff I can reuse. Just kind of add a little bit to it. Kind of what we're looking for is the line that gets created like down here. And you can tell we're pulling it at the right time. We're not getting any of the paint really pulling off with it. And this is why you do it pretty quick after you paint. So that's our bottom line here on the fender. See if I can work my way through all these layers. Kind of get to the top line here. If you need a little razor blade help just to get the tape started, make sure you're doing it on the side that you hadn't just painted. I think we're kind of getting lucky. A lot of this stuff's going to peel off together. Got a little bit of bleed through there, but I don't think that's enough to concern ourselves with. All right. And there still is like a little bit of white paint coming off on my fingers. So you don't want the paint to be completely dry, but you also don't want it super soft. Kind of somewhere there in the middle. And I'll grab the camera and do a little close-up here of the fender. I'd say our tape line's held pretty well. I mean, for this truck, as bad a shape as the body's in, and we're painting over essentially rust, I'd say it held pretty well. When you're peeling this tape, it's kind of important, peel it at an angle. Don't peel it straight across. The angle kind of helps break the tension right there between the paint and the tape. Probably gonna have all kinds of tape lines on my rust now that I'm gonna have to wipe with some acetone or something. Get rid of that. All right, let me grab the camera, give you guys a little closer look if I can get some of the tape off my hands. Here we go. I'd say our coverage is good. The lines are good. It's got a gloss to it, even though we're gonna clear over it again. We did get some lines from where the tape adhered. I don't really like that. I'm gonna have to kind of work on that with some acetone or something just to give it a wipe. But everything's pretty clean and crisp so far. You don't want to see a ton of like bleed through where your paint on your tape line is going up. I'm gonna go ahead and peel this bottom line, and I'll show you guys what that looks like too. So that'll kind of be a shot of just about the whole fender. All right, so we peeled our tape where our maroon's gonna go and got the kind of the fender exposed here. And we're just gonna keep peeling until we got all the white stuff peeled off. And the top of the truck's gonna stay kind of the way it is. I'm gonna leave the paper there just so I don't have to run that again for the maroon. But we're gonna go ahead and get everything pulled off. All right, driver's side peeled. And we are super happy with the results. I mean, super tight lines, not a lot of bleed through. I mean, this is as good as one of these paint jobs can be. And I mean, this was just me freehanding, taping, and rattle canning. So nothing special, just me kind of making my own shapes here, freehand drawing. And again, we'll have one more stripe and then everything's cleared. So you won't really be able to feel the different layers of paint. Everything will kind of be encapsulated under one layer. Then we have a white stripe that carries over right here on the tailgate. And we just keep on moving around here. So it's kind of hard to tell what you're looking at right now, but I promise you the finished product, this truck's it's gonna be night and day what it looked like before and after. So, all right, we'll pick back up when we're taping up the white, getting ready for the last paint, and then we'll have to do another tape. So the work is kind of just beginning on this. All right, you guys can see, y'all know the drill. We're all taped up. Kind of reused most of the paper that I have from before. Just kind of slid some patches here and there just to make sure I got complete coverage. And I went ahead on all the white and just put tape on it. So the last thing you want when you're spraying like a real dark color is get any little bit of overspray on like a white. You're gonna be super unhappy if you see that. It's gonna look bad, and it'll be hard to get off if you're just trying to wipe it. Your best bet would be to probably kind of tape off some of the area around the maroon, but you can't do tape lines on your white. You just have to kind of dust it in and see if you can cover it. We don't want to have to do that. We're kind of spray it on once and be done with it. Y'all know the drill. Everything's going through the Sawzall shaker. For better or worse, I don't know if I've ever had paint spray out so flat. So maybe there is something to this. Not gonna lie. The very little orange peel, and I don't know if it's because you're doing the vertical fan, kind of keeping your distance, but man, this stuff sprays great. Like I've sprayed the Rustoleum out of the can, 50-50 with mineral spirits out of a regular paint gun, lay down great. This isn't far off from that. This is pretty dang close, but let's get her shook up. I'm always terrified about sending this thing into orbit. One of these paint cans explodes in your shop, it's a bad day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gun shy. Since the first one jumped out of the gun, I'm a little scared. On these strange colors that aren't like white, black, gray, make sure to mix those a little more, because these guys have probably been sitting on the shelf longer than most of your other paints. Like a burgundy, who spray paints with burgundy? But people are painting stuff all the time, white, black, gray. It's a pretty common color. So uncommon color, give it the good Gulf shake. Put it through the mixer. But I'm gonna go ahead, and we're hitting all the lower part of the car here. So I'm gonna go all the way down this panel, then we'll move the camera around. I'll probably do the tailgate on my own, and then I'll just move you over, call it the dark side over there, because I only got one set of lights to set up. So, this full blast garage, we ain't operating on any kind of Matt Armstrong budget. Every time.
Number 4. Let's see. Let's turn the camera up here. All right. Slide her on down. And again, we're not going for full coverage on this. This is just a light coat. All right, I'm gonna head around behind and then I'll move the camera around. Woo! Yeah, make sure and get up under on this thing. It's high, people can see that.
One can done. Probably let that sit for just a second. We'll hit her with a second coat, then we're gonna take a break. All right, got our paint already shook up. Same story, just keep going. Make sure to put your paint can on 4. Get all suited up. Oh, it's getting tighter on my head. But if you're keeping count, we got 2 coats on there, and that's 2 cans of paint. So we're doing about a can of paint on the maroon to get all the way around. There's a little bit more coverage than the white. So we could do about two times around with 1 can of paint on the white. So we're putting down double the paint. It's going down great. No complaints at all. I think it looks great. Oh, we'll know tomorrow when we get it out in the sunlight.
Stuff definitely darkens as it dries. All right, go around.
This is gonna be the last maroon coat. I got a little bit left in that can and see how far it goes. I'm gonna work my way all the way around. I got kind of the coverage I want. So I don't wanna just go overdo it where I got like a hill to climb between the white and the maroon. I think I'm probably about at the same level. Dust it on one more time, and there she be. Then we'll wait an hour, start peeling everything. Hopefully we got no bleed through from the maroon to the white. And we're just gonna kind of probably let that cook for a day. Then we'll come back, tape off all the windows, maybe a little bit of the grill, whatever, and then hit everything with some clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in. I'm ready to get this over with.
around.
All right, everybody. It's been about an hour. That's kind of my go-to cook time on this stuff. And I'm gonna just peel the first panel here and show you. Then once I got all that, then I'll peel the rest and then do a real quick walk around, kind of show everything. Because man, we still got clear coat to put on. Going all out. And it might take a minute to peel this, I'm not gonna lie. I got all the tape. And I did that just to try and give me some extra insurance for bleed through on the white. That was kind of my mission critical. Don't get maroon on the white. Man, there's some already right there. I can see it. Dang it. You know, if it's not terrible, I can go with a little white brush in the spray can, touch up spots. But I was hoping I'd get away with just using all tape. And there's definitely tiny little spots where we got bleed through. And I tried to overlap pretty good. Woo, tape line is sharp down there though, boy. That looks good. If that's the worst of it, man, we're looking really good. You know, the good thing about using old Rustoleum rattle cans is your touch-up jobs are normally pretty easy. You don't gotta worry about matching paint, anything like that. They got it right there on the Walmart shelf. Maybe not burgundy, but they definitely got this white. So note to self in the future, when using this paint, you gotta overlap probably 1/8 of an inch at least. Some of my overlaps were pretty tight. And that's what kind of led to the bleed through. So this is kind of the first time I've used this delicate surface because really didn't want it to leave any tape impressions in my already painted surface. And we're kind of just doing a review right now, the old froggy tape delicate surface. I mean, 2 little bitty spots. So, and the rest of this is perfect. I'm pretty heavy on the overlaps over here. That scared me. That's a new piece of tape. Little bit of white got cut with my razor blade there. Pulled right off. We got maybe a hair maroon right there. This is really small stuff, guys. Like, I can live with this with a rattle can job. Just see where this stops. Maybe it doesn't. I will say I'm happy with the delicate surface tape. There's absolutely no residue, no impression or anything left behind, because you'll run into that taping over pretty fresh paint. Happens all the time. gonna grab the camera, kind of give you guys a little overview here. So here we go with our maroon and white stripe with our rust. And just keep in mind, we're about to clear all this. So we're gonna have some color changing. This is gonna go quite a bit darker, shinier, of course. But this is gonna look really sharp, super sharp. I gotta peel off the rest of this and show you guys what the whole truck kind of, at least the profile is gonna look like. All right, I had a couple little touch-ups. Maybe 4. Wasn't too bad. But man, I'm happy with how she's turned out so far. Got a bed full of little cardboard paper there, but got a little white and maroon carrying over onto the back. And you guys just gotta wait. You gotta wait till we go full clear on everything to kind of do the full reveal before you judge what you think about it. And I gotta clean up the grill and stuff too, but it's hard indoors to see the contrast between the rust and the maroon. But once we got clear on everything, it's gonna look super cool. So I hope you guys have maybe learned something about rattle cannon. You know, using these Rustoleum cans that you can put the vertical fan on. I mean, they lay pretty good. And I'm super happy with how the paint came out. I mean, it's just it's a quick little DIY project. It's not perfect, but it's kind of not supposed to be perfect on this project. Sorry about the train in the background, but the truck is kind of perfectly imperfect is what we were going for. I mean, like, what? Like there's pieces of the fender missing. But I just want to put something like a little eye-catching on it, different than the charred paint that was already on this guy. I think we have succeeded. Tomorrow, clear, and then we'll reveal it. I gotta tape up windows. I don't know about the door handles. I think you could probably clear that. It ain't gonna hurt them. I'll probably tape them up because that little button thing might get sticky. But yeah, she's getting sprayed over. I'll probably pull the wipers too. This is gonna look cool. I mean, that is permanently burned onto there. That ain't coming off. So that's the way she's gonna look forever. All right, guys. Well, tomorrow's another day, and we're getting one step closer to finishing the whole paint job and the video on this. So y'all just gotta stick with me one more day. All right, it's the next day. Got everything retaped, all the windows. Considering clear coating the door handle, but I think the little mechanism thing probably get gummy. So I went ahead and taped it, taped over the keyhole. I did do a little bit of little feathering on the back arch. I noticed on both of them, after I looked at it in photos, that there was a little bit of a point on each side that the front really doesn't have. See, the front kind of flows just like a curve, and there was like a trapezoidal looking, I don't know, little arch there. And I don't know how I did that and did the front a different way, but, you know, course corrected while it was easy. Literally just traced my curve over here with a piece of paper, put it on the back, traced it with a razor blade. And since the rest of our surface is bare metal, I was literally just able to scrape it. Just kind of traced it, scraped it, you're most likely never going to be able to tell that that was there. There's a little bit of a spot where I had to hit it with like some Scotch-Brite. So it's got a little slight different texture, but I think all the coats of clear is going to kind of massage that away. But yeah, if you saw it yesterday, the little arches back there were a little bit different shape. Now everything's 100% correct, matching. I don't think I could have probably on a day-to-day basis looked at it and saw all the different shapes. There's part of me that like, I'll kind of get anything done to a point, but there's a little bit of perfectionist to me where if I saw something like that every day, it would drive me absolutely crazy. So fix that. So I'm gonna suit up, shake up my clear, and then you guys can watch me. I'm gonna start up high on the roof and we'll get that clear coated. I'm probably, no, I'll still just do 2 coats, but I'll do them kind of all together up there so I don't have to keep climbing in and out of the bed. But I'm gonna get that cleared, then move on to the hood. So the big flat surfaces that are hard to get to, doing those first. So we're gonna dust all that, and then it'll be the same story as the rest of it. You know, down each side, do the tailgate. Need to do the tops of the bed sides because only the inside of the bed is gonna be bed linered, and that's an eventually project. That's not right now. So we're gonna clear all this, paint the roll bar white, and I'll just place it in there for photo purposes. There will be no bolts, but there's only like 2 or 3 holding it in to begin with, and it went down Highway 6 at 80 miles an hour. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get suited up, reposition the camera for a little bit better view, and we'll get to spraying and praying.
All right, so same thing up here. Number 4, vertical pattern. And I'm gonna see if I can shoot all the way across the front. I think I can make it. My arms are pretty long. We're just going side to side, 50% overlap. Trying to maintain about the same distance. Whew! Hands getting tired. Definitely not as coordinated with my right hand. All right, one more. That's probably gonna take, and then one more is probably gonna take an entire can. All right, what's the... Ugh. What's the side by side look like? How's it show up in camera? Maybe not as drastic as it is in real life. I don't know. I was saying it might not show up as good on camera as it does here, but when I can grab the camera and close in show you, you guys are gonna be shocked. But I don't want my camera so close due to overspray.
I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. All right, let's regroup. We'll set up for some side painting. All right, so on the side here, I'm gonna try and feather it into the edge. See how that looks first before I just go crazy clearing everything, because she's gonna take a whole bunch of rattle cans to cover all this mess. But I'm hoping, since the paint is gloss, there's not very much difference, and you won't be able to tell where the clear and the paint are, like a differentiation between the glosses. If there is a difference, I'm gonna spray it all, but I'm gonna start off just trying to feather in that line. Wish me luck.
I don't see any gloss difference. I think we're golden. We're gonna be able to do it.
And I don't know how this thing shows up on camera, but that is a drastic difference in person. I'm gonna go ahead, hit the rest of her with a coat, and we're probably gonna let this tack. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute. I'm super sketched with clear because I don't wanna have to sand it. If something goes wrong, this stuff, you just gotta keep going. So I kind of want to tack up a little bit, let that solvent pop before I keep on keeping on. But so far, super happy with it. Trying to get enough clear on there where some of the texture of the car kind of bleeds away, and it has a little bit of a smoother feel than just the roughness. But yeah, I think, oh no, we got clear run right here. Dang it. Can you wipe that? Sort of. I mean, it doesn't look any worse than it did before. I mean, I guess this is the positive of having a totally unprepped surface. You ain't gotta worry too much about wiping your runs. I think this white's had enough time to flash where it shouldn't interact with the clear. Oh, phone call.
Oh,
Time for one more coat. The roof and the hood already have their second coat. I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting around the truck again. Try to move a little bit faster. I was getting some runs that I showed you guys, but yeah, this stuff, it seems like it's a little bit thicker consistency, and it has more propensity to run than the paint. So we're gonna try and move a little bit quicker.
we're out. Next can. All right, all the way around.
Well, it's looking really good. I'm super happy with how this thing's turning out. Breathing in a whole lot of fumes right now. Getting a little lightheaded.
I can. Go ahead and make my round.
All right, so I got another round to clear on everything. Went around, just look, man, I don't see any kind of runs, anything that's gonna be an issue. And I'm just touching it. It didn't take all the texture away. I didn't expect it to. I think this is probably serviceable for right now. Or at least, you know, just see how we like the truck. Might put like an actual real thick clear on it at some point. But man, it really changed the look. Now all I got to do now, gotta let it sit and simmer a little bit off gas, and got to back this guy out, set the roll bar up in here, prep it, paint it, which shouldn't take a whole long time, but I need to let this sit for a while before I put it outside. Super windy right now, and I don't want a bunch of junk just getting stuck on the clear or the paint. Try to keep it as clean as possible too for right now. I mean, I did just paint it, so let it just cook, and we'll do the roll bar, and I'll set this thing outside, and we'll do a reveal of how it looks with everything. And I think paint supplies, I don't know, maybe 200 bucks, 150. I bought the paint so long ago, I kind of can't even remember. I used 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and some change rattle cans on this. And you got to, take into account, I didn't paint with actual paint the whole truck. I mean, it has a coating on everything, but most of the truck's clear. And that was most of the cans. Man, I think this thing for rattle cans is gonna be a showstopper. Y'all are gonna like it, especially when I can get it outside, get it outdoors, get the white roll bar with the white rims, the mud grips. This thing, it's gonna be set off real nice. So let's let this thing cure. I'll get it outside. We'll get the roll bar in here painted, and we'll do our reveal. All right, YouTube folks, this is what she looks like done with the roll bar painted. It's been a long road, I'll tell you. I've had this truck a few months, and so many projects kind of come in that have taken priority over this truck, but this thing's gonna kind of be my priority the next few months. Get it really nice, really drivable, and just kind of get it to at least daily spec. I mean, I don't care if it's show truck looking, but if it's a reliable daily driver with heat and air conditioning, windshield wipers, and tail lights, I've ordered those, and bumpers, and everything else is pretty much missing on the exterior or broken. All said and done, with all the parts that I've got ordered, new bumpers, all the lights, everything to kind of make the truck really, really nice. I'm still under $5,000, like total invested in the truck with everything. I'm probably around $4,500, honestly. But this, Rustoleum rattle can stripe job is amazing. And I encourage every one of y'all, man, try something like this on an old rig. It will bring it back, make it look super cool. This truck looked bad. It had the worst paint job. I thought it was bed liner, but it was just like roasted paint. Much, much better now. And then the hood, kind of one of my favorite parts. Like, you got all the screw holes from probably somebody ramming it into a tree and then pulling it out. And then the patina, the way the hood came out, it's just awesome. man, I hope everybody enjoyed the old video, you know, getting this truck painted. It's definitely been a labor of love for me. And I do stuff like this with rattle cans all the time. This isn't gonna be the last video you see of me hitting something with the old Rustoleum, but anybody can do this, no special skills at all. Painting's super easy, because if you screw up, just remove it, put more back on. It's that easy, you know, like this. I had some mess ups, and I've done this quite a bit. Like, I didn't like how the stripes came out when I finished. A little bit of razor blade action, a little bit of sanding. You can't even tell that I did anything to it. But I hope everybody learned something on this video. Hope you liked it. Hope you liked how the truck came out. You know, and until you see me again, man, just go out and do something that makes you happy. Like, bringing something like this back to life looks 1,000 times better. I promise you, it'll put a smile on your face. So, until you see me again, go out, do something that makes you happy, but just make sure you do it on full blast.